history of this country, things began by people immigrating over and beginning colonies. And one of the most famous colonies in our history is the colony at Plymouth. And the governor of those good people's name was William Bradford. Now, Bradford kept a diary, kept a journal, and we can read that and we can learn some very, very important things about our early history, and also how important it was to properly be a steward and a good steward over the land. Bradford said that the people were in a bad strait back in those days and basically become servants to the native population. And so that the people were going and gathering firewood or going and fetching water for the Native Americans, and things were all set up in their own community as a commonwealth. And he called this a really bad situation, and he called it, quote, communism. And he said that people were all pooling together over a common piece of land, and everybody was supposed to work, and it all go into a general kind of fund, and then out of that it was going to be distributed out. That he said that this idea and this methodology of caring for the land and trying to work with the land to produce rewards was a bad idea because it bred confusion. He said that it bred discontent. That he said it retarded much employment that would have been to the benefit of the settlers and to their own comfort. Now, that's pretty enlightening, is it not? That he said that the folks felt like, and again I'm quoting, that this was injustice because it was equal pay when another person wasn't producing a quarter of the work of the person themselves. And so you had other people who were slacking, other people working hard, but everybody got paid the same. And he said it was absolutely killing that early colony. The reason why they were starving to death wasn't because they didn't know how to farm. It was because they had a wrong perspective of how to steward out the land. You see, the Bible tells us that we are stewards, and that we are to take care of the land. And it teaches some important lessons, because once Bradford began to give people their own individual plots of land, and it began to encourage self-sufficiency, more food immediately began to be produced. And he said that it was a situation to where people became very industrious with their own hands. Now, that's what we want to be today, is that we want to be industrious with our own hands. We want to be good stewards and reap that good reward. And so we think about today this idea here at Mississippi Dirt about stewardship, and how important it is for us to take personal responsibility over what the good Lord has given to us, and how that's going to have a system of rewards, and it's also going to have this system of reporting, of our accountability. All those things are going to be important in our own motivation. And that really became clear to me, and the line just drew straight from A to B when I was able to begin to get my own hands in the dirt and recognize that the amount of labor that I put in over my particular little spot of dirt had an equal kickback in the rewards. A lot of work meant a lot of rewards. Not a lot of work meant not a lot of rewards. It's just visible when you're trying to grow something, that if you just put it in the ground and come back later and hope for something, you're not going to have anything. But there is that relationship. It's been true throughout human history. It's because God has created this system of stewardship, and it means personal responsibility. I mean, we are been given the responsibility to provide for ourselves and to provide for our families. And then over and above what we reap the rewards that we are able to provide for ourselves, then in turn we can become a blessing to other people. You see, the idea that our hard work and our responsibility over what God has given to us, and that we should provide for ourselves and our family, and then we ought to, as a responsibility, be a blessing to other people. Let me ask you, are you being responsible for what God's given to you? Are you providing for your own? And are you being a blessing to the people around you? If not, you need to pick up the slack and some stewardship. But not only that, this lesson of stewardship and how you have to work and how you have to take responsibility over what God's given you also means that there is an accountability. This is part of the motivation. The motivation is that one day we're going to give accountable. You know, when it comes harvest time, you're going to have to be accountable whether you're going to have anything to eat or not. When you work hard with the talents and the gifts that God's given you, and there comes payday, is there going to be anything in the check? Well, if you are being a good steward, is using the abilities you have, well, there is going to be a reward. Depending on what God has blessed you with, is going to be determined about how much of a blessing you can get. Hard work can overcome a lot of natural talent, but God has given that to some people more than others, and that's fine. That's fine. We shouldn't be jealous of what other people have. We should be focused on what God's given us and being responsible over it, because we know we're going to have to be given an account to the good Lord himself. Back in the scriptures, Jesus told a parable about how he gave a certain amount of things to a few people, and then he left them with it. One time he told the stories about money, and other times it was about cities. And Jesus comes back and says, what have you done with what I've given you? Not everybody had the equal gift, but everybody had the equal responsibility, and there was going to be a report. There was going to be some accountability. And it's accountability to ourselves, the people that are looking to us as dependents, and the people that we can bless. But most importantly, we have a responsibility and accountability to the good Lord himself. But not only that is the reward. That's a motivation, because we got the responsibility, we got the report, but also we have the reward. We know that if we will work hard, there's going to be a reward. It is a relationship there, just like it was back at Plymouth, as it is today. That we are going to be able to reap what we sow. And we use that so many times as a negative thing. Man, that's positive. If you you sow good things, you're going to get good things back. We need to be busy about doing those good things. We need to be busy about working hard in order to get this reward. One day we're going to be able to see the fruits of our labors and be able to enjoy that. You work hard at your job, you work hard at doing the things God's blessed you with. Hey, listen, you get that paycheck, you get to be able to live comfortably. Those are rewards of working hard. You're able to bless others. That's awesome. But there's going to be a day on after this life where there's going to be the ultimate reward, and the things that we've done for his glory, these things are going to last forever. And so it's important for us to realize that hey, the land is teaching us something. And just as somebody who's working in their hands in the dirt sees that there is a relationship between this work and reward, and how that comes back to our own responsibility, that we also have the responsibility before him to be good stewards over what God has given us. Thanks so much for tuning in to Mississippi Dirt. Hope to see you next time.